Visions, I've seen it in my manifestation. I'm sleeping this guy and gonna create the most viral knockout ever. We're sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds.
one thing.
I got the 8-year-olds in there.
If I find out anything, I'm gonna beat your ass, and I'm gonna beat Jaden on Love. On my mama, I'm gonna beat both of y'all ass.
For them.
Will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were like to beat him or even like knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, a 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
Gervonta Davis exploded in response after Jake Paul allegedly boasted he'd knock him out within 3 rounds, a remark that has intensified the already heated buildup. Many critics argue this fight puts Davis's legacy at risk, as it's uncommon for a boxer of his caliber to take on such an unconventional opponent. A loss would spark major doubts about his dominance, but if Davis manages to overcome Paul's size, strength, and hype, it could become a defining moment in his career, one that fans remember for years to come.
I think Davis is more to lose because he's the bona fide world champion. I don't care if he's much smaller. I think Jake Paul has sort of plateaued as far as where his boxing is concerned. It's rather low level. Yeah. He's big, he's physical, he's strong, he can hit. So there is that risk. Davis, at lightweight, you're in a moment where it's too physical for you. You can clinch. Against the heavyweight, where you clinching? You ain't getting out of that corner just clinching anymore if you run out of space. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. But Davis, listen, there's a lot of talking points that I'm sure we'll get into when this gets closer to the fight. Davis can still punch at lightweight. Can he drop a heavyweight? There's a lot to gain there, right? If Davis knocks
the answer is yes.
If Davis drops Jake on his ass, as much as Davis is the one with more to lose, it's still a highlight moment.
A visual that will stay forever.
Yeah, but if you get dropped, even if you're smaller, you're still a world champion, multiple weight classes. If you get dropped, what's the look? What's the feel? On the inside, as boxers, me and Chris Algieri, the champ, even you, Jim, you have fight experience, so we know that the risk is a big guy that big hits you. You're probably going down if you're a small guy if he hits you clean. So we know the risk, but how does it look to the public eye who don't understand that? You know what I mean? The public. So there is a lot to lose, though. There's a bit to gain. I wouldn't necessarily have an issue with this had Davis's career arc been one that benefited boxing. Davis was manufactured and put into a position where he's supposed to benefit boxing, and I don't think he has. I think he's hurt boxing. So by giving him this reward, that's my problem. Why are we watching this? Why don't you make him earn his spot that he still hasn't earned mine?
Jake Paul has raised the stakes, boldly claiming he'll deliver the knockout of the year when he steps into the ring with Gervonta Davis. He's not treating this as just another bout. He's chasing a statement. Paul's confident remarks make it clear he views this fight as his opportunity to silence critics, prove his legitimacy, and carve out an unforgettable moment in boxing history. By promising a spectacular knockout, he's betting on more than brute strength. He's banking on showmanship and the power of spectacle to make this clash bigger than just a win or loss.
Fighters, because this thing is going to be watched by hundreds of millions globally. Jake, give the people one thing that you can guarantee that they're going to get on November 14th when they tune in to Netflix.
Yeah, you're going to see the 2 biggest fighters in America go head-to-head with an amazing card. World championship fights back-to-back-to-back. And that's just how the MVP way we do it. And I'm going to come for a knockout of the year again. I've seen it in my visions. I've seen it in my manifestation. I'm sleeping this guy and going to create the most viral knockout ever.
Rolly Romero has shared his thoughts on the possible impact of a Jake Paul knockout over Gervonta Davis, insisting it wouldn't damage Tank's legacy in any meaningful way. He reminded fans that Davis is already a 3-division world champion and one of the most respected names in boxing. In various interviews and Instagram reels, Romero stressed that a single loss, or even a shocking knockout, can't erase years of success, championship titles, and dominance across multiple weight divisions.
Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them.
Will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were like to beat him or even like knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, a 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him. Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him, or like all that stuff, right? At the end of it, bro, we just want to do what's best for ourselves, right?
Facts.
Right or wrong.
Facts.
So just do what's best for you.
Raleigh Romero gives a balanced perspective on the upcoming Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis showdown, insisting that Tank's legacy remains untouchable no matter the outcome. As a multi-division world champion with an impressive list of accomplishments, Davis has nothing left to prove by taking this fight. Still, Romero acknowledges the challenge ahead, admitting that Paul's size and physical strength do give him a real advantage. Even so, he emphasizes that no size difference can diminish what Davis has already achieved throughout his storied boxing career.
Too big for him, but like Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know. Like I said, or as an exhibition, we don't know if they throw at each other or not, or we don't know. I don't know. I can't give an opinion because I don't know what's going on.
Do you think it impacts, will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were to beat him or even knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
Daniel Cormier was visibly shocked upon hearing that Gervonta Davis would be facing Jake Paul. In a recent clip, DC slammed the matchup as ridiculous, calling it a clear mismatch and questioning why a top-tier professional like Tank would agree to fight an influencer boxer. He admitted he never imagined a crossover bout like this for a fighter of Davis's stature. Cormier also voiced concern about the significant size and power gap between the two, warning that the spectacle could risk overshadowing the integrity of Davis's boxing legacy.
I swear to God, I was on a plane coming home from Las Vegas. When Luis told me Gervonta Davis is fighting Jake Paul, I said, get the bleep out of here. I said, you're a bleep liar. Jake Paul is fighting Gervonta Tank Davis. There's one problem. He fights at 135 pounds. Gervonta Davis is that much better than Jake Paul at boxing. But Gervonta Davis in his last fight weighed 133.8 pounds. And I'm not over here in the business of just crapping on Jake Paul. I am much more respectful of what he's starting to build as a professional boxer. You're fighting a guy that's better than you. He's just much smaller. But that guy, because he's better than you, what if he wins? Everything Jake Paul has done is wiped completely out. Gervonta Davis loses to Jake Paul. Obviously, it's going to hurt who Gervonta Davis is, but he lost to a guy that's going to be upwards of 70 pounds bigger than him when he steps into the boxing ring. But I will tell you this right now, without a shadow of a doubt, I will watch this. Tank Davis is 30-0-1. You want to talk about Jake Paul fighting a real boxer? That's a real boxer. You can't make this stuff up, man. It's true. They're fighting.